Domestic violence, first of all, what is domestic violence? It's generally if somebody gets arrested for having some sort of a disturbance with either a wife, partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, live-in, roommate even potentially. And domestic violence there are several codes that apply to domestic violence. The first one is Penal Code 243E1. Which is called domestic battery. What domestic battery is, it's the less serious charge of the domestic violence charges. It's always a misdemeanor, and it's basically willful and unlawful touching that is harmful or offensive. Again, to someone who's a spouse, someone who's living with you, so on and so forth. Very often there's no physical injury involved. So if you get arrested for domestic violence, but there are no allegations that the other person was physically injured, you're likely going to be charged with a 243E1, which is a misdemeanor. And the maximum penalty for a misdemeanor is 1 year in county jail and possibly a fine. If it's the first time that the person's been charged for something like that, chances are they're not going to get any jail time. I had one where a couple of years ago, I recall that it was a boyfriend-girlfriend. They were fighting at home. Allegedly, the boyfriend pushed his girlfriend. Not very hard, but he put his hands on her, pushed her. No injuries. She didn't fall, nothing. She just went back. She was very emotional. She called the police. And the police came, and he was arrested when he actually admitted to having pushed her. It's technically under 243E1. That is domestic violence, and that is a willful and unwanted and unlawful touching. His case turned out very well. The evidence was overwhelming in that case because he actually admitted it to the police. There was no self-defense involved. And by the way, there are certain defenses as to 243E1. One of them is you're acting in self-defense. Another one is that the accusations are completely false and it never occurred. In this case, he didn't say he was acting in self-defense. He admitted pushing her without being, physically provoked. I mean, verbally, there's a lot of back and forth. Ultimately, in that case, I got him a program where if he did some classes, he got a reduced rate. He got no jail time. He got a short probationary period. And basically, after a couple of years, he was able to expunge it off of his record. So it came about very, very well in that case. So if you've been charged with violating Penal Code 243E1, we do provide a free consultation. Time is of the essence, so please contact us. We will provide guidance, we will strategize, and we will provide various options that might be fruitful to a positive disposition of this case.